late game here. I'm expecting this game to go into some very, very big team fights that will decide the game. And obviously, as you highlighted, that's how Splyce have won their games in the summer split.
And now here for Schalke, for Splyce. Schalke, it is the battle for first. Splyce, it is the battle for fifth. Both teams fighting for seeding. Schalke fighting for that bye, fighting to be at the top of the table here as we enter the Rift. Of course, the only path to fifth for Splyce. They have to win both of their games. Vitality have to lose both of their games. And they have to beat Vitality in a tiebreaker. So if you are a Splyce fan, this is their version of the miracle run. They got to win both these games. They got to take down the opposition. And they're going to need a little bit of magic to hope the Vitality lose out against both Misfits and G2. Schalke, of course, on the other hand, fighting at the top. They do not own the head-to-head versus Fnatic. So they need to win 2-0. They need Fnatic to lose if they want to get that. And they have some pretty close tiebreakers against other top teams. G2, yes. Misfits, teams that they are 1-1 with, I currently believe.
And that is kind of the thing here for Schalke playing earlier in the day. If you lose this game, you can go back, you can feel horrible, you can then watch potentially Misfits, G2, Vitality, these teams pick up wins. And then they get a step behind you towards that second place. And that's kind of one of the key things. You've been on this miracle run. If you are Schalke, you've won so many games in a row, only lost the one game to Fnatic, 9 other wins for yourself. And then you might still not even get that second place, even though you feel like, based on the second half, that you deserve it. But that's kind of the thing. Bad starts to a split means that you have to go on these kind of runs, and then you still need to finish it.
Have to close out strong, especially. Have to hope a little bit, too, that Fnatic start to lose out. Otherwise, 2-0 week will secure them that first place. But now we enter the early laning phase. Kobbe and Kasing not leashing, getting early control of this bottom lane to try to keep the pressure up.
So as he's starting top side, obviously Schalke got full information on this because the Solar Diamond return a bit later to the lane. Both teams know where the junks are starting, but as we highlighted in Champ Select, with the amount of tanks and the tank junglers, you know, the Sejuani and the Gragas, we're not expecting like a level 2 gank to happen and all-in aggression everywhere. Schalke is the kind of team who's been able to play multiple styles. Like, they both played some aggressive early games, but they've looked great the first like 15-20 minutes. Think back to the Z game against G2 as one of the examples. But we also see them aim for late game before, with mixed success. I want to look at the one here to the right of your screen on Niski. I said it was the first game with Yasuo in the summer split. I double-checked it, and I just want to go even further. In competitive, it's his first Yasuo game. He's played for 2 years. He's not showed this champ yet.
And you're playing up against Nukeduck, a guy who is so flexible in what he brings to the table. It can be difficult. You know Nukeduck knows the ins and outs of this matchup. His champion pool is so incredibly deep. And Niski, we've seen really great things from this guy. He has often been the sole carry of Splyce at some points in the mid-season. Can you get that same level of performance here up against Nukeduck? Definitely a difficult challenge.
Yeah, and again, as you said before, it's just really hard for the Yasuo to shut down Nukeduck completely. And he has a lot of ways around the win wall as well from Niski's side. So I really want to see the 2v2 happening around mid once Sejuani hits level 6. Because then I feel like on the side of Schalke, it's actually going to be stronger. Because they have ways to keep Nukeduck alive from the all-in of Xerxes and Niski combined. And there's no cleanse on the Yasuo. So if Amazing can land the ulti or lock down Niski, he dies fairly quick, but we need to see it first. Obviously, a lot of it comes down to execution and who pulls the trigger first, because you can try and chain CC Nukeduck before he gets to use pool. You know, on bottom side, as expected, early push in from Kobbe and Kasing, and
fantastic trade coming in from Splyce early on there, forcing Vander back. Is he just going to retreat? Of course, doesn't have a Summoner Spellbook, can't grab up the one-use TP to get back to lane, so looks like he's just going to have to accept his lot in life right now, backing off and letting Upset farm safely.
And he's running Dematerializer. Obviously, same thing on the side of Kasing, just try and even out what's happening in terms of the push early. Kobbe and Kasing, though, have to be a little bit careful because Amazing is on bot side. There's a ward to spot him, but still, if you are pushed all the way up to the turret, that's most likely a summon blown if he actually shows himself. Kasing puts down a second ward as well. They know there's a chance here. All in from Vander, Q flash, bam. Kobbe is most likely gone, but I think Amazing might just path towards top side. Unless he thinks there's a chance. Like, he's coming down now.
Maybe.
There's no camps.
And it's not surprising to see Amazing be willing to play around the bottom side to mitigate some of this pressure from Upset, because Upset has been a player that has looked so good in the last few weeks, rising up, getting steadily better across the season, but Kobbe is giving him a lot of difficulty.
Yeah, I mean, two very strong AD carries fighting each other, and as you said here, like, The weeks 7 and 8 from Upset specifically are just like absolutely insane with the amount of damage he's actually dealing for his team. And it's not just wait for late game for him. Like, he's actually in a side lane on Lucian, you know, constantly applying pressure. He's doing well in the laning phase, so it's been a great improvement. For a player that's less pressure on now than in the spring split, I think that's been the big change. He's not the guy they rely on 100% to win you games. It's been a lot more around the rest of the team, but it's actually allowed Upset to shine more because he fights in skirmishes very well. Let's see what happens mid.
Gonna go all in on Nukeduck. He's just gonna pull up, dish out a little bit of damage. Windwall not going to block, sadly, the Tides of Blood. Pressure keeps up there, but Control Ward is protected, so worthwhile exchange there for Nukeduck.
Vander's up here. He's moved from base after his first recall to see if anything is happening. Otherwise, he does bring Control Ward with him if he wants to use it.
They know they have vision control.
This side.
Level 6s are coming in. Can't look for the disengage. Kasing is here as well, looking for the combo, chaining the CC there. Wants to potentially take down Amazing. Has to flash out to safety.
Yeah, that was not a good engage from Vander because there was no level 6 on Nukeduck yet. He needed these couple of minions. Niski had already hit 6 on his side and potentially was looking for a play. Xerxes as well. Very fast with the Predator. Same thing that Spirit just did over in LCK playoffs when he carried on the Gragas. The Predator one just really enables some of the early ganks you can go for.
And you saw almost immediately in solo queue, pros start picking this up. You check pro builds, almost every single Gragas instantly switches to Predator after a performance like that from Spirit. No surprises, he's Xerxes, one of the quick adopters here, always an innovator in the meta. Happy to pick something up.
But look at this turret, man. So Vander moving, going for the play mid before they were actually ready to fight, forced the flash from Amazing, but also ended up wasting quite a lot of time for him where Copy got more free time to push in. The smart thing that happened before with Kasing and Copy when they stepped away from the lane, when we were mentioning that potential gank from Amazing, was it was just pure tracking from level 1 of where the jungler is going to be. Okay, he starts on top side, sorry, on bot side, so he's going to pass the top, do his camps, he's going to recall, and then the one camp left is going to be the Crux on bottom side. So we know around that time, he's going to be down here most likely. Place your double ward, step away. Don't risk an all-in where you have to flash, because when you have flash, you can keep pushing. And that's so key. It's not about dying specifically, it's about keeping a defensive summoner on Copy the Varus so he can play aggressive in lane and get damage on turret. You can't do that the moment flash is gone. You have to constantly be scared of an all-in. So it's really smart just tracking jungler, something that obviously is a lot about communication, Cersei probably calling a lot of it, into then, okay, when do we step back? Cool, now we don't have to use a summoner because we can't get ganked, and then we go back to pushing when Amazing is gone.
And we'll have to see how the tracking keeps up because level 6 is going to be a crucial point. Very easy to track on that first clear based on where they leash, based on what you see. But now, diligence and placing down the vision to make sure Amazing can't get into that mid lane and snowball Nukeduck is crucial because Nukeduck is terrifying. This is his 15th champion, Deficio. This man can play literally anything in the mid lane, and Niski has to feel a little bit uncomfortable knowing that Schalke has very often put attention mid lane to help Nukeduck succeed.
Sad we didn't get the Kayle again against the Yasuo. That's what he did early on in the split, where you're also going to ignore the wind wall specifically. I think if you look at these different champions, his Vel'Koz has been pretty good the one time we got to see it.
There's a lot of one pick here, believe it or not.
It is very true, but I want to highlight this thing around mid that we mentioned earlier. No cleanse on Niski's side. Amazing is ready with ulti. If Niski does not block the ult with the wind wall, like if Amazing dashes through it into melee range, it sets up a potential kill for Schalke. A strong all-in. Nukeduck has a bit of damage on his side.
Amazing has to be careful here. He's going down to the jungle. He's going to need to make his way out. Odoamne going for the all-in on Visit Chachi.
Chachi's no ult for a few seconds. He's waiting for it.
Playing back, playing safe. Not looking to engage. Odoamne giving a little bit more respect. Ulti down for the Mundo, though. Chachi will have his up shortly. Will he just use it on a creep or continue fighting? Find out.
Small little thing. Perfect timing on ulti cooldown from Odoamne. He knew exactly when that ult would be ready again from Chachi, so he was trading with him, being around 40% HP, until the moment ulti was about to be ready, he stepped back. Just a small little detail, but obviously knowing the cooldowns of the one thing that can kill you, in this case the ult from a Cho'Gath, allowed him to take a trade that most people probably would not have gone for because of the risk of getting one shot.
Fantastic timing, fantastic managing of those cooldowns. Advantage in resources is always key. Both top laners, of course, no TPs as well, both with flash available, neither one looking to overcommit at this point in the game. They know it's the mid lane show. Both junglers consistently hovering around that, but Splyce have set up an incredible amount of vision to make sure that Amazing can't get in. And
because it's been this slower early game, we've gotten exactly what we said in the champ select. You know, top lane winning for Schalke, that's where they can push in. Bot lane winning for Splyce with Copy on the Varus and Kasing on the Braum. And then two junglers kind of looking towards the snowball lane, which is the Vladimir versus the Yasuo. So we've gotten what we expected so far. We just haven't seen a big opening yet. We had that one flash force from Amazing side that did slow him down quite a bit. So Splyce have been able to just play a very steady early game where, again, this bot lane turret on every wave is taking a couple of hits from copy. It's going to be down now to about 30%. If this keeps happening, that's first turret for Splyce in a couple of minutes.
Not at all where Schalke want to be. Letting that Bars and Braum move around the map, shift up to the top lane, pressure up Vizicachi, who's otherwise doing pretty well in this matchup, building up the CS lead for himself. Schalke don't want to give this up too easy.
And because both teams have swapped sides in terms of where you have pressure, Cho'Gath winning top, it allows Schalke to get control wards down in the river and therefore start the Rift Herald for Amazing. But on the other side, with Copy winning, well, Splyce will get the Drake on the bottom side. This is a very standard trade. But Splyce are getting two things. Bot lane turret, because by being on bot side with Xerxes, they're also protecting that bot lane from a potential gank. And now you have first turret gold going to the Varus. He's going to get a Play the Rune King very quickly, and he's going to be much, much stronger right now.
And sadly, for the side of Schalke, they're incredibly behind on the tempo play. Amazing can look for the play here. However, Nukeduck on the way. Predator has been burned. Odo Nukeduck trying to run. Do they have enough damage to cut him down? Ignite is there as well. There goes the Chemo Plague. Odo set now to fall as they're going to look to get back a little bit more.
Still alive!
But he manages to get it. Nukeduck flashes for the auto! I cannot believe it. Odo Omne remains unkilled. Splyce are so far behind the tempo, they can't even take the tower anymore. They're backing off. It's a split call.
Oh, such a big, big play here for Splyce. That was supposed to be a quick kill onto Odo Omne, and then you could try and get something towards the top lane turret. But now, as you said here, they're going to be so far behind. Rift Herald not used yet by Amazing. Can try and put it down either mid or bot lane, but let's see it again. It's just a 2v1. They go for the initial all-in. He's healing through. Ignite is on him. Early ulti's not down from Nukeduck, so the first bit of damage is without the ult onto Odo Omne, and it's just so annoying. He tries to flash for the auto. It is such a feel-bad moment because he just keeps getting HP. Never flash for the auto against Mundo.
And officially, we talked so much about how execution was going to be crucial here in the early game for teams to either find leads or stall out. Splyce definitely getting early leads here, setting themselves up for success. And we look at Splyce overall, they like slow games.
Oh, yeah.
They're happy to take an advantage and just choke you out over time.
It is funny that their losses all the way to the right is actually the average game length of a normal EU LCS game. But when they win, in the middle, 40 minutes. It's 7 minutes longer than the average. And this is over now the full summer split. So it's not just 1 or 2 games that went late. No, it's how they win. And this is the perfect start for Splyce.
Absolutely, and now for Schalke, Amazing is going to manage to take away the buff, but even if Schalke come back, they get, the gold isn't too far apart. There's a little bit of a tempo advantage in favor of Splyce for sure, but even if they come back, that game time just keeps going up. You just keep getting closer and closer to the point in the game where Splyce are the most confident and comfortable pretty much of any team we've seen.
So let's see if Schalke can do anything to actually start speeding up the game just a little bit. They have to keep looking towards mid lane, but Niski is not all in Nukeduck. Notice how he's just pushing the wave, and then he's stepping away, respecting the fact that it's not about him right now. Top lane, maybe.
Set stepping forward. The stun does manage to go down on the Kabe. They want to get a little bit more. The disengage comes in from Kasing. They're just retreating.
Upset has no ult right here, so he's actually not able to try and finish Kabe. Amazing is around, once again with the Rift Herald. If they can, in the 2v2 lane, place it and actually force Kabe back, there is a small advantage, but Kabe's TP is available. He can go straight back to the lane, and Xerxes plus Niski's topside, trying to stop a potential push.
Kasing with the cheeky ignite from the spellbook as well. Just throws down a little bit of damage here. They are going to back off, may shift their attention mid lane. Eyes now on Niski as Nukeduck pushes in. Herald has been summoned. I think Niski knows he has to give this one up. If he sticks around, it could be disastrous, but Xerxes on the way. Maybe they look for the combo. Maybe they look for the big play. TP's coming in for Braum. Here comes the charge. One knockup under the tower. Kasing now looking for the disengage. Braum is absolutely everywhere on the map to deny these plays for Schalke, and they just cannot find a way to get in. Splyce's defense a little bit too strong.
It's just constant trades, Schalke win the trade topside, they push Splyce back. Instead of going for top lane turret, they use it to go mid first, because all the Splyce were looking to defend top. They get the damage onto the mid lane turret.
And now, of course, so we have a bit of brief downtime. You can see Nukeduck's perspective. Playing in windowed mode, so it's always the same no matter what computer he goes on. Has the same aspect ratio. Wait to see where the Predamir Vladimir can go. That's twitch.tv/RiotGames2 if you want to watch the game from Nukeduck's perspective. Maybe multi-Twitch. Watch from both. See what Nukeduck's doing. So look at how the game looks. Because I guarantee level 11, level 16, he gets a little bit more items, a little more gold under his belt. That is going to be one terrifying Vladimir. He will be a catalyst for so much action.
He wants a bit of time, or at least he wants someone to set it up for him for now. We have a swap from Splyce. They did not get the top lane turret, but they've moved Kobe and Kasing towards the mid lane, putting Niski with their completed Phantom Dancer towards the side. Obviously, the 1-3-1 for Splyce is going to be very strong the later we get into this game here. Niski on Yasuo, we always see this, you know, he get you 2 items, sometimes 3 if you need a defensive item before IH, and you are such a strong duelist. And we talked earlier about how Mundo lose early to Cho'Gath, win later, and Odame is gonna be happy in that side lane the longer we go in the game.
Yeah, there's no AP on that Cho'Gath, so those base damages are gonna start to fall off. A little bit of max health damage if you can get enough stacks, but really not enough to deal with the sustain of Mundo. Splyce starting some dominance on the top side as they push in. Schalke trying to get it back with a mid lane push of their own. For now, just a 1K gold lead. The thing we have to look at, there's so many towers with low health bars, both mid and top lane. Schalke feel like they could take them down if they get one good play, but they haven't found that play yet. It's not going to stop Amazing and Nukeduck from fishing, however. And
Amazing knows it's hard for him to be main engaged due to the wind wall. He actually needs Vander with him to go all in, but now it's suddenly Splyce getting the control in the river. And as we mentioned in champs like this well, Dracos, it was going to be a slower early game, but then the action could start.
Ooh, beautiful ulti there. Does force the cleanse out from Kasing. Summoner Spellbook really saving his life on multiple occasions.
Flash as well being used. So small little win for Schalke.
Need to turn it into more, though. They've been getting some of those incremental advantages pretty consistently. Niski ready for a fight there. Sees the Gragas off to the backside, wants to fight for that control ward and that vision. Knowing Schalke aren't in a great spot to contest. This year you said slower game, we're seeing it so far, and once again, the slow game just seems to favor Splyce as we move
right. And slow sounds negative, but it's actually not meant as a negative here. I guess tactical game is a better phrase to use, because it's not been about just crazy all-in aggression, and all the small trades we have seen are thought out by the teams, like to try and plan it. Kobe is in trouble.
Trying to take down Kobe. Kasing wants to mitigate what he can, but they know that he's dead. Kasing also could be next to the menu, has the hourglass, wants to get out as quickly as possible. Xerxes going to be the taxi to take him to safety. They will disengage for that play. May give them a bit of priority in the mid, however, it does mean they're going to lose a tower on the top side of the map.
First opening, Amazing managed to find right there. Kobe no flash from much earlier up top lane when we had that 2v2 fight. Should give a mid lane turret as a trade for Schalke. They already lost the top 1 to Niski. He got all the gold for himself, so he's a happy Yasuo. But obviously Kobe dying. No flash, bit out of position, instantly punished. And it's a turret for Schalke, but Yasuo is going back, spending 1,500 gold right now. That's going to be a BF sword, plus the Phantom Dancer already there. That's an IH coming fairly soon in this game. This is just obviously Schalke getting the man advantage mid. And by also moving Nukeduck here, they are guaranteed to win this fight.
Pulling back. Does mean that they give up the top lane tower, though, so Splyce not giving anything away for free in this game, holding onto their gold lead as small as it is. Red buff now passed off to Upset. Gonna return to the mid lane. Sadly, you know, going for the Iceborne Gauntlet here, not gonna have the most damage. Still waiting on that 2-item spike. We'll see how quickly he can get the tier stacked up so he can start to be more of a damage threat.
Right. But it is mainly physical damage that's going to actually hit him in this game, so the Iceborne Gauntlet does make sense. Does set up a little bit of a longer fight scenario for him. But obviously, most of the team fights will be more about Nukeduck's Vladimir. Like, that's the one where if he gets to one-shot Kobe every single fight, it's a huge chance Schalke can get the upper hand initially. And then you look at the all-in on the other side, where it's a Yasuo ulti with a Gragas and a Mundo trying to hit the backline of Schalke. So the more defensive build does make sense. Might not be enough to save you if you get hit by some sort of CC that sets up what's going to be a pretty farmed up Yasuo.
You want to keep him in arm's length. Now Nukeduck with the Predator running forward into Niski. Sat in base to finish the boots of Lucidity. And that means he gave up about 30% of that tower's HP in addition to whatever normally would have been taken. Couldn't get there very quickly, but prioritizing that item, prioritizing that CDR, just to make sure he can throw out those ultis that much more frequently.
Are they trying to hide around the corner here? They're going for Amazing.
Immediate knockup from the Yasuo. First half a second there, brain just went out the window, but clean play comes in from Splyce.
Yeah, great setup. They know with the Gragas ult, you just gotta hit the Sejuani and instantly ult with Niski, so there's no chance for Amazing to dash away or anything. I see something around mid lane. Amazing key ult is on the side of Splyce.
Comes the Predator from Xerxes. Nukeduck's on the side as well. Odawam now running for his life. The Iceborne Golem making an easy chase down alongside. Vander just trying to buy as much time as possible, kicking him into the tower. It's a split fight. Odo still running. The ulti still ticking down. Kasing wants to save him. Vizichachi's hungry, but he just has too much sustain. Extended trade, another tower drops. Vander wants to get it, but the flash out from Kobe knows what's coming, sees the play, and makes it to safety. Splyce are in absolute control of this game.
Yes, because while all this happened, Niski got another objective in the top lane for himself. He's gonna go back and get that IH very, very soon. Love the play though, mid. Like, the taxi from the W of Alistar to get the flash for Q, but then Copy reading the situation and flashing with it. It's one of those moments where you can just see a players are so used to situations, they read it instantly. Oh, he's headbutting a minion.
And the thing
Why
is,
would he do this?
We've seen Vander do this multiple times before. Use the taxi to find engages with the flash Q. So good on Copy to do the research to see how his opponent's going to play and to be ready for that kind of trick. Definitely admirable, and now a 2K gold advantage for Splyce, steadily getting larger. You talk about 2-item spikes being crucial here. Yasuo getting closer and closer to that infinity edge point you talked about, that side lane terror point.
It's kind of the thing here for Schalke. Their draft was very, you know, focused on scaling as well, and they're kind of playing into the Splyce playstyle with the way the draft ended up going. And as we highlighted in Champs League, like Splyce picked red side. And they didn't go for comfort bans against Schalke. They took just normally strong champs. They like to ban the Nocturne. They did that last week as well in both their games. Took away the Akali, which by some teams is considered obviously super, super strong. We've seen Nukeduck, Caps, and so on look really good on it. So it wasn't a huge, insane strategy to like just shut down all the comfort picks of Schalke. The Yasuo early pick though, that was a big one. Took it away from Nukeduck, and Niski on his first game ever on this champion professional play has just been doing very well for himself in the side lane.
Building up a CS advantage, getting the assist there on the play for amazing. Xerxes, though, now going to be in trouble. Both stacks aren't going to connect, though. They're trying to set their sights on Niski. Upset is going in. The windwall's going to block a little bit of damage. They're trying to find the disengage. Niski now retreating, but the stun comes through. Everything being part of it. The TP is here. Will
Here we go.
Re-engage. Copy's on the backside. He just wants to ult. Just wants to connect it. Arrow goes in. Copy going to throw out the ultimate immediately, but they're trying to find the re-engage onto the AD carry. If they can take it down, maybe they can turn the fight. Nukeduck just enough health to survive in the end. Now trying to run. Odoamne not going to let it happen. Not today as the reset comes through. Upset still poking, still kiting, still trying to make it out to safety. But Splyce coming out on top in the end.
They sit over. Odoamne still trying to land a cleaver here.
Disengage coming through.
Oh man, so the initial all-in. It's all about dodging around the wind wall for Amazing before he does anything. And again, he needs Vander there with him, but everything was invested into killing Niski. So they were missing very key ultis for the remaining fight, especially the ones on the Vladimir, because Nukeduck used it to guarantee the kill on the Yasuo. So look here, Amazing doesn't throw anything early because he knows we need to get past the wind wall. Okay, they do with the ult here. And then Nukeduck ults onto Yasuo to guarantee a kill, probably overkill, and now means he doesn't have it for this key fight right after. And Upset's damage is decent at this point, but it's not enough to deal with, especially Odoamne in the front.
The chain CC onto Nukeduck was beautiful. The Crimson Rush, so much healing for the Vladimir the lower he gets, denied entirely. He was CC'd for the entire window in which he could have used it, meaning when he finally did use Transfusion, what, 50 health to 60 health?
Yeah.
Not nearly enough to stop the move from killing.
Still guarantee you, Nukeduck really wish he had that ulti for when the actual fight happened. Schalke might have expected to get the quick kill and then get out before Splyce could show up, but even with 4 members, Schalke just ended up, Splyce ended up winning that fight with, again, a super strong front line. We praised the Mundo pick. Drake, you said it, Sejuani, Cho'Gath, Vladimir, it's magic damage, magic damage, magic damage. Well, what's on the side of Odoamne? Triple magic resistant items. Like, this guy does not die because Ezreal is not a tank killer. He needs too much time to burn through tanks. The Blade of the Ruined King is gonna help him, but still, he's not the kind of guy who just like burns down a tank. It takes too long for him through the ulti of Odoamne.
Odoamne is still a backline threat with how much just additional damage is in the kit of Mundo. So things looking a little bit grim for the side of Schalke. They've lost control of a lot of the side lanes. Vizicachi still comfortable for now, going toe-to-toe with Odoamne, but the Yasuo gets scarier and scarier. The 2 items now completed. Baron, next thing on the menu for Splyce. So far, the setup looks good, but Splyce with this 1-3-1, you know, we often look at them as this late-game team-fighting team, but the 1-3-1 for now is looking like a pretty good setup.
And they're using it again to just always get an objective when Schalke is trying to group around mid lane to force a fight, and that's where Niski has gotten so much of his gold. Funny enough, there was one of the slides on this or that this week was actually around what do you hate to play against the most? A Mundo that can 1v5 your team or a Zoe? And Jad specifically picked the Mundo, saying when a Mundo is this far ahead, like in terms of just tanky stats, he's one of the most annoying tanks to deal with. Because you feel like no matter what you do, he just does not die. He just gets all the HP back, he never leaves, and he actually deals decent damage. And this might be a game where Odoamne is sitting 1 versus 5 and refuses to die.
Odoamne now sees two members start the Dragon, walks in because he does not have to be scared as the rest of Splyce start up the Baron. AK dropping. This is a critical moment in the game. Amazing is not there. They're trying to disengage. Splyce, will they go for the fight? Will they look for the re-engage? Looks like both sides just backing off. Splyce playing with a lot of patience there. Did not want to go toe-to-toe with Schalke, knowing that Nukeduck has that ultimate up and available.
Also knowing that Odoamne was not there. Like, he's the front line for this team, and when he's on the side, that doesn't help them at all. They're going to get a bit of damage onto him, but of course the ulti can't get it down.
Through. The Phoenix comes out. They're finally able to cut him down. That's going to be an advantage that Schalke were waiting for. Start to even up this gold. Look to take down the tower, but not quite strong enough to break it yet. Going to need another creep wave, and it looks like it is too far away for the team to force anything else. So just a small pick in the end, but it does relieve some of the pressure put onto Schalke.
Such a tense game here. Reminder, Schalke, if they want to get first place in the EU LCS, they have to win this game against Splyce. They're currently down 0-2 against Fnatic in the head-to-head, so they cannot end the same as Fnatic in the standings, because then they simply just get knocked down.
And they have so many 1-1s against the other top teams. So if they don't find wins, if they don't put a buffer between them and the opposition, they're going to find themselves in tiebreakers here to try to get back to that bye, to try to get out.
And that's the thing. You're either playing for first place, which is obviously #1 goal for everyone. Second thing is get top 2, get that bye straight to semifinal. Those are the two things you're looking for if you are Schalke. Splyce further down the standings, but still in playoffs. And when we get a game like this that's so even, so close between the teams, it just shows us what's going to happen in this playoff. But we have so many competitive teams fighting against each other. And this is obviously Odoamne, who is not at the 1v5 stage yet. Give him a bit more time.
And you can see now Executioner's Calling coming out. They don't want to let him get to that 1v5 stage. Deny some of the healing that will come through across multiple champions, the Gragas, the Mundo, and the Varus, as well as potentially the Yasuo later. But Schalke, you can see how many resources they have to commit to burst down Odoamne. Lots of ultimates, lots of abilities, and they have to make sure no one else is around. If they try that in a team fight, everyone else is going to kill them.
Notice also all the stopwatches on the different players here. We haven't had that massive 5 versus 5 team fight yet, so they've just been sitting there for a while. They've been kind of waiting for the key moment, and that's probably going to be the big fight that leads to Baron. A perfect stopwatch for Nukeduck can actually be enough to keep him alive before Pool is there. Same thing on the side of Niski, who's a squishy Yasuo, who's obviously gone straight for the eye edge second item, so it's all about the upfront damage. But if you don't get that, you die so quickly. So I really want to see the key uses of the stopwatches, if that is what decides the fight or not.
Stopwatches and summoners, as just about every single one is up. A few TPs we're still waiting on cooldowns to come through, but everything else available. Flashes, ignites, cleanses. So the next fight we see, if they go for the full 5-on-5 or even a skirmish, teams have so many resources at their disposal just to rip through each other.
Yeah, if we look at side lane plays, it's really only around Niski I'm seeing something that can happen. Specifically just because you can throw the ulti from Xerxes into an instant Yasuo ult and you actually have a great setup. You saw him on top side, Nukeduck just step back and he wasn't going to touch the wave, he was just waiting to see what was going to happen, but it does mean Splyce have control on top side when Niski's there. And that gives them access to the river, which is important because it sets up for Baron play. And ideally for Splyce, you're the one who's actually dictating when the fight's going to happen, and you can use that Varus ult in this river here to set up a fight with Odoamne in the front. Like, it's a great setup. We have upgraded Last Whisper for copy as well, so he's all about killing frontline. He's not about killing Upset. He doesn't care. He needs to kill Chachi, and Amazing. That's his goal on this Varus here. It's everything just built to deal upfront damage to the tanky members.
And on top of Varus' kit, right? The ultimate is so good when people are running into you, chaining up multiple members if they're not careful in terms of how they position. But Schalke, still ready, still fighting for this Baron control, and you can see 28 minutes into the game, both teams know this is where their attention needs to be set, but they're playing the side lanes, they're playing it out nice and slow, and they're looking for a greater advantage to let them get into this pit, to let them get a little bit more in.
Niski's been farming for so long, he needs a fight soon.
I mean, so does Nukeduck.
It's true, both mid laners, man. You gotta pump up those numbers, but you gotta get in a fight first.
Playing PvE, man, they're still leveling, you know?
Odoamne's just smacking a Cho'Gath down, so he's just like sitting with #1
They're
damage.
both just like, hey, do you want to inflate our damage numbers? Yeah, let's just hit each other
going,
for
man.
29 minutes.
Once again, though, next step is most likely that big fight around the Baron for both teams. At least all the setup is around getting control of it. And it all starts once again with pushing your lanes into invade towards the enemy jungle. And if someone then steps out of position, ooh, this guy sneaks try to sneak a ward in, bam, you engage on him instantly.
And you see this corridor, you see Splyce sitting there. I just remember that Schalke game where Vander found that clutch engage where Nukeduck was playing Zed, and both teams know. They see those choke points, and they know that they have to be careful about not getting caught out here. Nukeduck going to take away the blast cone.
Oh,
Schalke is going to start at the Baron. They have the choke at. They have the guaranteed secure, in theory.
Splyce not reacting yet, but here's Cersei. He's going to check.
Throwing in the barrel, 11k, slowly getting chipped down here. Good damage comes in from Upset. They're going to
Amazing,
attacking, Rising Spell Force fully going. Schalke maybe going to look for the disengage here. Do they even want the 5v5? Just playing on the front line, using the mobility of Ezreal to lay down a little bit of poke, but not connecting on the Mystic shot. So Splyce is going to take this mid lane priority and look to break down a tower. They see Schalke are out of position. They're going to take their prize.
Always one of the gambles when you try and go for the two-man Baron is the moment the enemy team shows up. You have to step away from it. Splyce get a mid lane turret as a reward, and they go back towards it. Once again, the tense moment around the Baron itself.
You saw the stat there, Splyce undefeated with a lead at 30 minutes this season. 5-0, I believe it was.
And we have to remember, Splyce can do the same play. If they have a Gragas there or a Mundo combined with Copy, they can also go for a two-man Baron. And if you sleep for like 10-15 seconds, not checking it in time, the Baron is probably too low for you to do anything, and then it's gone. And then you actually avoid a potential big team fight, because what's funny is how both teams are kind of scared of fighting each other around Baron itself. Like, one, you don't want to deal with, you know, a massive ulti from Copy into a great setup for Niski when you stand your group together around Baron as Schalke. But at the same time, you don't want to deal with a massive Vladimir ulti hitting 3, 4, 5 members. So both teams have something they have to respect on each side. And it makes it, again, very risky when you stop the Baron and no one is overextending. No one is giving you that kill for free that sets up the objective.
It's like watching a boxing match, man. Both teams so good at defending, just looking for that one opening. Just punch a man in the face.
They're going to try bot lane.
They're going to try to punch Vizicachi. Silence comes out. Vizicachi's now going to run. TPs is going to be used. Do they have the CC to cancel this? The channel is so long. They do take him down. Taking out the top laner, taking out the Feast could be enough for Splyce to get something more.
And you know what? If it was one person to get caught in the side lane, it would be Vizicachi right here in the late game. He thought he could just push the lane and leave. This sometimes works on Poppy because he has an ulti to knock people away from him and he can escape. Does not work on a Cho'Gath. There's no way out. Big kill for Splyce. Do not rush straight to the Baron, even though Chachi's ult is, Chachi's TP is on cooldown. So take the Mountain Drake. I think they could have gone straight to Baron here and said, you know what, we are happy taking a 4v5 team fight.
Double Mountain makes every following fight a little bit easier in terms of taking down the Baron.
That is a fair point as well. I think they're taking the safe one. They were already on bot side with Niski.
And once again, this is classic Splyce. We saw in wins, longer game times, they like to draw it out. They want to make sure absolutely everything that could go in their favor is going in their favor before they take these big risks.
Yeah, that was definitely the safest of the plays. Enemy tank dead for 45 seconds without teleport. Still gotta respect Nukeduck's damage in that Baron pit.
Yeah, 30 minutes and only a 4k gold lead, so, you know, definitely a lead for Splyce, but not insane by any means.
Oh,
Very much a close game.
This is one big team fight, and then one team might get so far ahead that it can actually push down and almost take everything. Like, that's the nature of a game where it's been so tactical, and we're waiting for the big 5-on-5.
Copy uses his ultimate, that might be the signal to get it started. Vizicachi gets stunned, but Vander tries to find the re-engage. Upset throwing the Ezreal ulti across, but Copy remains untouched, trying to come through Vander, but the ultimate is still up and available for him. Nukeduck looking for a little bit more, goes in for a bit of a play there. That's gonna be a lot of Vladimir damage, cutting down Kasing.
And Nukeduck didn't even go all in. He saved the flash right there, did not use Ignite. Copy got so low initially from just the all-in of Schalke. Splyce tried to do what they wanted to do. Kill the front line first with Copy and his build.
Vizicachi, or rather Odoamne. We're now running for his life, but it looks like they are going to be able to take him out. One more auto could do it. The knockup comes through. One more melee auto attack is going to be able to follow, but this is 20, so no, it's going to be blocked with the wind wall, but Upset is still there to get the kill. 2 picked off for Schalke. Is it enough for them to do the Baron? There is no Warmogs on Vizicachi.
Oh, can they go towards it? He might recall first and bait something else. Top lane wave is there for them to grab. If Splyce do not lose Baron after losing this fight here, it's one of the small saving graces after actually getting destroyed in that initial 5-on-5.
Tension building now. Splyce feeling very comfortable, very in control. Schalke mirroring their opponents, taking the safe play, pushing in top lane, backing off, not going for anything over aggressive, not looking to take risks.
They did stay, however, still looking for something. Odoamne is dead for another 15 seconds, so we got a taste of the fights here. We kept highlighting Schalke's ability to reach the backline with Nukeduck is huge. Copy's ability to try and kill a tank. They're starting the Baron now. Cho'Gath Feast is available. Urame is not here yet. He's alive now with TP, but Splyce not near the Baron yet.
Are they going to go for the steal? Predator up on the Gragas. He can just leap over the wall. The TP's coming in as well.
They have to CC him.
Getting lower. Ulti comes in. Chachi does manage to get a Nukeduck suddenly in the middle of everybody. He manages to land on Kami, but the CC comes out to stop him from getting anything else. Odoamne in the middle of the team, trying to cut at least one member down before he gets taken out. Splyce taking priority in the fight. Niski's so low in the back, and he gets cut down in an instant. Odoamne is untouchable. Kante goes for the play. He wants it. He gets it in the end. Can the Ezreal close it out? Odoamne is still alive. He is so tanky. Wants to take out Vander. Everything is falling apart for Splyce. Odoamne is doing what he can to hold on to it, but Upset outplays, finds a way, and Schalke get the Baron.
It's another game where this guy in Ezreal looks fantastic in the late game. Big team fights from Schalke. They secure the Baron with the Feast from Vizicachi into a big fight where Nukeduck died early on, was just chain CC'd, and then they rely on the AD carry. We showed the stats earlier. He's week 7 and 8, 40 plus KDA because of fights like this.
Because of plays like this. This one, this replay brought to you by Acer Predator. Chachi, take it away and just, I mean, you have to look at Upset in this one.
Yeah, because Nukeduck on the right side is dealing with 3 members, so he goes down, and now it's all about the Ezreal. That's where the damage comes in. Lands absolutely everything, and Splyce can't get to him. They're dealing with the big tanks. And then he sees Copy on the side. On his own, no protection, because everyone is screaming, get in the pit, kill Amazing, kill the tanks. And you get singled out. And this Ezreal here, dealing a ton of damage at the moment.
And this is good for the side of Schalke now. Their hopes alive for getting first place, for keeping that bye in their control, because sitting under tower against an Ezreal and a Cho'Gath is not a winning proposition. Kabi's going to do what he can to clear the wave. They're going to have to give him a lot of respect once all 5 members are here.
Well, Schalke, it's only the first Baron of the game. Like, we had to wait 35 minutes for it. And when you go this late, typically the other team is still strong enough to actually defend and potentially just fight you through the Baron buff. So it's not a case where you have to give up multiple inhibs instantly without doing anything. Schalke will secure the top turret. They want to get at least one inhib down.
Flash and Predator are up for Nukeduck. Kabi, no flash. Niski, no flash.
They can go for tower dives.
You want to prove for Year the Duck, this could be it. If he can find a way into the backline, if he can find a fight advantage. But for now, it is the slow siege. Cannon Minion is coming in. They're going to do their best to protect it. Varus is going to do his best to clear it out. Will Schalke pull the trigger on the engage? Only hitting Odoamne.
Oh, can Amazing maybe land an ult over the wall? Niski is near Copy, though, with the wind wall.
See him now.
Ideally for Splyce, as you highlighted before, Drake, as they wait for the summoner spells, but you're the one on the siege. You might not have a choice. Top lane turret did not die. Once again, they're killing the waves.
Chachi off to the side. Slow siege down. Upset just moving forward for a few cheeky auto attacks here and there. Has to be quick. Leaps right out. Not going to get himself the opportunity to get locked up here. Amazing back in the top lane. They're running him back and forth. Splyce need to pick a lane. They need to pick a fight, or they may just get choked out here.
30 seconds on the Baron buff here. Bit of damage landing onto Copy. See if they can get down to turret in time. Just a couple of hits from Upset is all they need, but need to respect the potential all-in.
Vander goes for the engage, but it looks like they might be able to get a little bit more. Nukeduck waiting, biding his time before he goes in. Predator has been popped. He's going to go forward. He's going to go to the middle of the team, but they managed to find the lockup on Nukeduck. He does go into the pool, but this might just be the turn that they need. They see Nukeduck. Splyce are starting now to turn it back. Upset firing shots across the wall, but Splyce know that the momentum is in their favor. They've taken down the Vladimir, and they may just be able to take down Vizicachi too. He's on the retreat path. He's trying to run through. Silence comes out. It's going to stop a little bit more. Wants to turn it on to Niski. Gets him back. Says, not today, baby Mundo. You may be tanky, but you don't have enough damage to kill me. Looking for the blast cone. Looking to make it out. And with style, manages to walk away.
Upset was pushing bot lane, but he probably has to step back. So, big late game team fight. We just highlighted, you don't have to give up objectives against the Baron buff in the late game. You can fight back against the stats and everything, and that's what they did on the side of Splyce here. It was actually an all-in from Vander that started, but what I want to see if we get a replay is Nukeduck's play in it. It didn't look like he actually managed to reach the backline with all his abilities.
No, he managed to get Tides of Blood, but then he got CC'd. I'm not sure by what. That's what we have to see, because that ability saves Splyce.
Copy was untouched right there in that fight. The break being started. Let's see what happens here. Vander's on his way towards the right.
Oh, Vizicachi in the middle of the pit. The Cho'Gath can just take it away. Odoamne, do they have enough damage to take down the Mundo? He's trying to make it out. Vizicachi wants to get more, but Amazing is going to get taken down. Goes over the wall, smites to stay.
Oh, Copy!
But then taking it off. Copy's dead. Odoamne is running for his life. He can't get anything else out. That does not care. He'll go toe-to-toe with the Mundo. He'll go toe-to-toe. Does not mind whatsoever. Double drops, Elder as well. That is beautiful for Schalke.
Another swing right here. Splyce won the initial fight. They start the Elder Drake, and Kobe finds himself in the middle of 2-3 huge tanks of Schalke. And you can't survive. He just goes down upset again. They cannot get to him. They can't shut down this Ezreal with all the tanks in front of him. And now Schalke pushing.
Get the engage. Now he's in trouble. Nukeduck still alive on the back line. Ulti available. Flows in the middle of the team. They're going to back off. Holds on to it, actually. Elder Dragon buff, powering them up, giving them a little more power from that mountain, cutting through the inhibitors. Are they just going to go for the end here? 10 seconds, 47.
Schalke looking for that first place. They want to finish the game right here. Put the pressure on Fnatic.
Taking it down, Hunting. They want the buy at least. They want first place at best. They want to keep it going. The wombo combo's there. Kobe's denied entrance from the fight as Nukeduck pulls back. He's going to use everything just to try to take him down. Does he have enough damage to cut it out? Kobe, it looks like he's going to fall. And you know what that means, folks. Schalke turn it around. Splyce in control for so long. But all it takes is one confident play, one confident fight. And Schalke keeping their place in second secure, looking to get first.
Lake